Hello, everyone, and welcome on to Branded. This is the podcast that takes you behind the scenes and beyond the brand. Today, we're going behind the scenes with one of my beautiful clients, Alicia Harrison. She's the founder of Flip This Chick. We're going to chat a little bit about our work together that we've been doing just behind the scenes in her business for the last, gosh, a little over a year. And then also, we're going to dive into like the Flip This Chick programs and how she's been transforming the lives of all of these women through really simple, really sustainable, healthy habits to help them ditch the midlife muffin top. I know I've been there, and someone like you is just like a lifesaver when you're at that stage of life. So thank you so much for being here, Alicia.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Love your intro
Absolutely.
music. It always gets us going. So thank you very much for that. Love
Yes, absolutely. I know that's honestly this music, I keep getting the most like compliments from people when they hear it. They're like, this is a really good like intro situation. 'Cause I had different music for a little while, but yeah, I'm
nice
digging this
stuff.
one too. So before we get into the good stuff, I just want to first say thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. Like I'm so honored to get to work with you. I love all of the things we've been able to collaborate on, to create together, and really just to be there to support you to have such a thriving business. Super grateful.
Well, as am I. It's been so much fun. The skills you have in actually like knowing the platforms that I don't know, so you can make it happen, really is a lifesaver. Like I have really appreciated that between, getting emails, changing my website altogether, helping me to create some of those freebies that we do on Freebie Friday and really dialing in so that I can spend my quality time actually working with clients, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't know how to do the tech stuff, and I don't want to know how to do it,
Right.
honestly. So I'm
Well,
great.
and that's one of the things I love about what I do is, I find so much joy in doing the design work and then seeing all those beautiful things that I create actually work. Like that's really exciting too. And I love that I can help you stay in your zone of genius more frequently. So you don't have to worry about those kinds of things. And we work so well together in that regard because you have such a mind for what you want for your business, like that end result, which is phenomenal. Like for the work I do, that's the best thing I could ask for is to work with somebody who actually knows what they want because then it
Right.
helps me create the thing and show up and match that request. And it's just been really phenomenal to get to work with you over these last couple of years. So let's talk about the juicy stuff. I want to talk about Flip This Chick. And before we get into some of the bits and pieces of the programs, why did you even start Flip This Chick in the first place? What was sort of the vision and purpose behind it?
Well, great question. Honestly, I didn't really start Flip This Chick as much as I just needed Flip This Chick, right?
Yeah.
I I found myself at 52 more than 25 pounds overweight, even though I was running every day. I was eating healthy, and I didn't know where it came from. I'm like, what is happening? I'm doing all the stuff I used to do, and yet my body isn't responding like it used to. And so, the typical response is, okay, then do more, eat less. And that doesn't work because then your body shuts down and it's like, don't, I hate you now, right? And so really I I had been in fitness, and so I knew what to do for my 30s and my 40s. And when I hit 50 and I put on the weight and I was in menopause, I was just honestly so frustrated. I didn't feel good. My clothes didn't fit. I was shopping in a different store because I didn't even have a waist. Suddenly I was an apple shape. And I was like, couldn't wear things. I couldn't buckle a belt. I couldn't, I'm like, what's happening? And so I really did just say, okay, I need to dial in, focus, and figure out what will work because I can't continue like this. Here I am. I was actually training for marathons. I ran an ultra marathon on my 52nd birthday and was 25 pounds overweight. Like it made no sense.
Right.
And, but when I did dive in to really figure out what does work, I figured out I wasn't doing all the right things, but the things that we need to do aren't that complicated. They are just different. And
Yeah.
until we know what they are, we can't do that. So
Mhm.
it was really, really beautiful to figure it out. And it took me a couple of tries, honestly. Like, I'm like, okay, try this. Nope, that didn't work. I'm like, okay, that didn't make a difference. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll do all those things, but then I'll do this also. Let me see what that is. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, let me try this and just totally flip the script and do something different. And I did, and it worked. And I was like, okay, wait, if this worked for me, there's probably lots of women out there who need to know this too. And I just honestly, I gave myself 1 minute to decide and say, Alicia, this is either going to be a thing, and you have 2 weeks to actually put it out there, or it's not happening. Because unless you do this in real time while it's happening to you, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Right. So I honestly had been working on it myself for 6 weeks, and I was giving myself 8 weeks to make it happen, which is what one of our programs is. The transformation program is 8 weeks long. And I was at week 6 and recognized, holy goodness, this is it. And I'm like, okay, well, then on the final day, you better be ready to launch this, call it something, and make it available, or you're out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, make it happen. And so that's really how I decided to jump in and make it happen exactly when it did, was
Mhm.
because of that. And I knew I just needed to do it, not only for myself, but for everybody else who was feeling like that too. And it resonated with so many women who are now getting amazing results, and it's really neat. It's just makes me really proud.
I absolutely love that. And I love how it all began. Like it came from a place of necessity for you. And there's a ton of businesses that start that way, right? It's like you need
Mhm.
something for yourself in order to feel better, do better, be better, whatever, like whatever it is. It doesn't have to be weight loss, right? But you
Mhm.
find something that works
Mhm.
and you're like, wow, I've got a business here. Like,
Right.
how did I not see this before? And maybe just the timing didn't align because you've been in fitness most of
Mhm.
your life as it was, right? And so you just kind of need all those bits and pieces to sort of line up to get to that moment where you're saying to yourself, okay, this is what is the next step for me. And I'm going to help a lot of other people do the same thing. So I think
Right.
it's really phenomenal that that's how this started. And it wasn't like you were trying to, obviously, a business makes money, but it wasn't about the money in the beginning, right? It was about like, I'm trying to get my own transformation and create something sustainable for this next phase of life, which I think you make such a great point at is approaching your programs from a position of like, this is about understanding where you're at now. It's not about trying to guilt yourself or judge yourself for not knowing what to do, because you're so right. At every decade, our bodies are functioning differently. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm in my mid 30s and I can see very evidently how differently I function now than I did in my 20s. And if I
Absolutely.
wasn't attuned to that and having people like you in my life, I
Mhm.
maybe wouldn't, I would feel super frustrated by that.
Right. And it's important to not, like you said, guilt yourself into feeling like, oh, I want to fit into my clothes that I used to wear back in the day. It's like, wait a minute. We need to really look at what you need, how your body feels, and make sure this can be the best phase of your life. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have as much stress as we had in our 20s when we don't know where we're headed or what's going on or how things will happen or what our life's going to turn out to be. It's like you've got your life at your feet, and you want to feel great. You want to live it. You want to thrive in it. You don't want to be exhausted and overwhelmed and not feeling good and have all these autoimmune issues that a lot of people struggle with. And, we actually do find so much healing um, in and among all those other things
Yeah.
by diving into this and impacting our movement and our nutrition and our mindset and our connection to other people. And the beauty in that really does work into a place that it keeps it sustainable. Like they want to keep doing it because they feel better. They want to keep doing it because it got them a response quickly, right? You
Mhm.
see something happen right away and you're like, okay, cool. I believe you. I'll do this, right?
Mhm.
And so that's exciting. I just love that. And it really is. Like I connect with women one-on-one every single week, everyone in the program. And that time that we have together is about how they're responding, what's happening in their life, whether they're in the 8-week program or the new 12-month program that we have. We can tackle what's going on right now. It's not
Yeah,
like, oh, do this for 8 weeks, no matter what phase of life you're in, no matter what holiday it is, no matter what season of the year it is. It's like, no, I help you shift according to what's happening in your life right now, right?
that's
And it might
powerful.
change. It might change. Like, oh, suddenly, you have a loss in the family. Suddenly you have to travel for a month. Suddenly, all these different things. I'm like, okay, let's be sure that this week we talk about those things so you can handle them, right?
Yes. Yeah,
It's very
because that's something that people will allow these one-off life circumstances to dictate. I mean, it could domino effect into
derail
the
them.
next year of your life, the next
Mhm.
3 years of your life. Yeah, it could totally derail you just because you went on a 2-week vacation somewhere. Like, so having someone like you in their back pocket that they can talk through, set a plan,
Mhm.
and also I think too, it's important how you give your clients that sort of permission to playfully approach wellness and from a holistic standpoint too. It's like understanding, like you said, it's not just a cut and dry method. It's incredibly personalized for what's happening in their life. Like, do they have kids they have to cook for that they're probably eating scraps from? Okay, we need to factor that into
Right.
your nutrition and what you're eating. So it's everybody's at their own phase of life. And yeah, it really does make such a difference. And that actually leads me to what I wanted to ask you next was what's one of like the most common reasons that women come to you and get into your programs? Is there like a common thread you seem to find?
It is most often because, well, if they find me, they've seen that I'm in my 50s, right? I'm in midlife, and then that I am healthy, but I had put on 30 pounds. I had been healthy before that. And so they're like, oh, she gets it, right? Like, and so too often, a lot of times they might see someone and be like, oh, well, you've always been fit. You can't really tell me what to do. And like, no, actually, I 3 years ago was 30 pounds overweight. And didn't feel good and couldn't wear my clothes. And, I wasn't treating life like it was awful, but I wasn't feeling my best. And I
Yes.
wanted to change that. And so it's important to know it doesn't have to define you, but you have a right to choose how you want your life to go. Like, do you want to feel good every day? Or, do you want to be able to go to the garden and feel good while you're out there? Do you want to be able to pick up your grandkids? Do you want to have enough energy to work long hours if that's what you're doing right now? You know, do you want to sign up for a 5K or a 10K or a marathon? Right? I ran my first ever marathon at 33 years old. Not, I hadn't done it my whole life. Like, we can begin to be healthy now, even if it hadn't happened before, with
Yeah.
some simple healthy habit shifts. And that's what's really cool is it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be what you did yesterday doesn't have to affect what you do tomorrow. And we can simply choose something new and
Yeah.
it can really make a difference.
Oh,
It's so cool
that's,
to make a difference. I love it. It's
yeah.
amazing.
I
Mhm.
mean, that right there was like a mic drop moment of exactly like you just tied that up in a pretty little bow of exactly how approaching weight loss really can be. And I think so frequently people tell themselves, okay, I'll start tomorrow because they don't have that mindset of what you were just saying. It's okay that you weren't a certain size your whole life. It's okay if you weren't an athlete your whole life. It's okay that none of those things have happened for you. But
Mhm.
today, if you have the desire and the want
Mhm.
to do different, feel different,
Mhm.
the world is your oyster. Like you can do that. And I love that you approach that and have just you just remove all the judgment and the guilt from it and say like today's a new day and you're a new
Yeah,
woman.
we have to, right? And it can start as simple as never miss a Monday, we say at Flip This Chick, because it doesn't matter how last week went. It doesn't matter how the weekend went. On Monday, choose you, choose
Yeah.
your health, do some movement, have a healthy meal, do something that feels good to you. That's
Hmm.
it. Just never miss a Monday. If
Yeah.
you can implement a few simple healthy habits like that, non-negotiables, like not missing a Monday, you'll never get too far off track.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's knowing the things we need, which are different when we're in our 40s compared to our 50s, compared to our 60s and beyond. It
Hmm.
is different for everyone. So we have to look at what things are challenging you. What medical issues do you have? What autoimmune diseases do you have? What hip replacement have you had? What
Hmm.
asthma do you have? What mindset do you have?
Yeah.
All of it needs to come into play for what will work for you because
Hmm.
it isn't the same for everyone. And we can dial in your macros. We can choose movement that works for you. We can accommodate what you need so you can be your best self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women have gotten results in the 8-week program as much as losing 40 pounds in 8 weeks. No joke.
That's amazing.
We have women losing 9 pounds,
Yeah.
15 pounds, right? Getting abs and being like, I have abs, right? Which reminds me, right now, we're doing a 30-day ab challenge, which has been so much fun that ladies, if you're not in it yet, you got to jump in. So please check that out because this month we're doing an app challenge. Next month we'll do something else. We always do something to make fitness fun and bring the community together so that they're cheering each other on and they want to show up, right?
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Makes me proud. The walk and talk Wednesdays that we do it wherever you are. Maybe you
Hmm.
can join us in person. Right now I'm in Minnesota. Later I'll be in Florida. If I'm traveling, I do walk and talk wherever I am. And you can do that too. It's that you just need to choose what to do and you need to know the right things for now.
Yeah.
So that's really where Flip This Chick comes into play. We have conversations to find out what matters most and how we can change what you're doing simply, but reduce inflammation, have your body working better for you instead of against you. Curb those cravings because you get what your body needs. We
Yeah.
fuel forward. We get you what you need before you need it, which
Hmm.
eliminates the frustration and the cravings and the overwhelm. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel great. My clothes fit and I'm not hungry. And it's not, it really is an amazing process. And the women involved are the most fun because they're helping each other. It's really cool. Just all
Yeah.
around.
I love how you create this sense of community around all of it because weight loss can feel very isolating. I mean, first and foremost, it's a very sensitive topic for most people. They don't want other people to even know what their progress is in case they fall off the wagon or whatever. And so there's this very hush hush sort of mentality around getting healthy as if it's um something to be looked down upon, that you're trying to turn your life around and get healthier, and it's tricky. And I know whenever I was going through my own weight loss journey, I didn't really talk about it. And I so regret having not talked about it, because I know how many people I could have helped along the way, but
Mhm.
not even as a business, but just to
Yeah.
be that touch point of like mental clarity, to let them know they're not alone. And like you, I was very fit up until I wasn't. And
Right.
so having that, like experiencing both extremes, like having had abs all the way through high school and, just fit as a fiddle my whole life. And then all of a sudden, about 8 years ago, I guess it was, I was 45, 50 pounds overweight. And I'll tell you what actually started me like really noticing how overweight I was. Yes, the scale was climbing and I was sort of just like ignoring it, thinking, whatever. Like I've been healthy my whole life. It'll go away. It'll go down. But what I really, really noticed, I was in a yoga class. I had to bend forward and I was so uncomfortable because my stomach was in the way. I
Right.
couldn't bend. I couldn't move in a way that didn't make me lose my breath, feel like I was just being squeezed in my yoga pants. And that was the moment for me that I was like, wow, I I am
So,
100% overweight for my body frame. I have to do
yeah.
something.
Yeah. The moment for me was seeing a photo of myself on the beach. And I was like, who was
Who's
that?
that?
Oh, that's me. Right. And
It's like zoom
I
in.
have,
Whoa.
right. And it happens 1 pound at a time, one
Mhm.
notch in your belt at a time. It doesn't happen 40 pounds at a time.
Yeah.
Right? So we do just let it go and go and go. One thing that a client shared this week, she was really excited about, just being a couple weeks into the program. She said she went out in her garden and was able to get down on her knees and back up again, first of all, without that bothering her.
Mhm.
And then she was able to bend over and work in her garden without her stomach being in the way.
Yeah.
And those things really are impactful. Like it changes your life. It changes how you feel about yourself and
Mhm.
it changes how you project yourself to everyone else. And it gets you to show up when you feel better, right? You
Yeah.
decide not to go places or not to do something, or you miss out on things when
Mhm.
you're not feeling good or not proud of yourself. And
Yeah.
that's what has to shift. And we do make fitness fun. It's important. You'll show up if you have a date with a friend to go to yoga, you'll be there, right?
Yeah.
So we find ways to incorporate it in your daily life. And we have accountability partners that are like in your own life, not just inside the program, so that
Nice.
they're with you long beyond the program.
I love
And
that.
your conversations start to change with people in your life. You
Mhm.
start talking about healthy things. And most recently, this last 8 week session that we started, one gal had jumped in, and within a week had two more of her friends. She's like, they got to get in here right now. I'm like, okay, we'll quick shift and accommodate and get them in because I want you to have them right by your side, right? And just her quick results and how it impacted her, how she felt and her energy, they were like, yeah, I want some of that, And then to be able to bring people in that you already have a relationship with and connect with has just really solidified what they do, and it's changed their conversations, right?
Yeah.
Instead of sitting and having a drink and talking about something, now they meet and they walk and talk, right?
Yeah.
And that's how Walk and Talk Wednesday ever got started.
I love it.
I needed to exercise every day, so I looked for a different friend every day of the week. And I was like, wait, this could be a thing. Let's like every Wednesday just meet to walk. And so now, we do it everywhere. And it's really cool. Even as I'm leaving Minnesota, they're going to continue Walk and Talk Wednesday here through the seasons, and we'll pick it up in Florida, and it'll just keep spreading. And the real beauty is you can do those things wherever you are. right?
Yeah.
And that's the goal. Because when you start impacting someone else or inspiring someone, you continue to show up for yourself because you know
Yeah.
somebody's watching. And that is part of what that community in Flip This Chick does. And you can jump into that in Facebook, get into our community and just be part of that. That it really does make a difference. It's fun to see the women cheering each other on with this ab challenge we're doing right now, the 5K a day we did last month. And the next one coming up is just going to be tons of fun. So that's where we really flip the script, is where you're doing things that you decide you can keep doing, simple, healthy habit shifts. And but they've got to have impact. They have to help
Hmm.
you feel better. They have to bring you results. And
Hmm.
when they do, it keeps it going. And so
Yeah.
that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, consistency is one of those like very interesting concepts to me that when you love what you're doing, it's not hard to stay consistent.
Right.
But when you feel like shit, you don't love what you're doing,
Mhm.
you'll ignore the task at hand until the end of time. So, yeah, I think, like you said, it's super important to find that harmony of like, yes, it's fitness. Yes, there's work involved. You're going to sweat. You're going to, feel a little short of breath at times. But on the back end of that, you're going to be like, wow, I just had such a great time. I got to connect with some people. I
Mhm.
feel amazing. And now I can show up in my life even
Yeah.
better than before.
Yeah. And, what we do at Flip This Chick is about more than just fitness.
Yeah.
We are talking about your mindset. We are talking about obviously the things you're eating, but not just how you're eating them because they're going to help you lose weight. We're talking about how they affect your body. Do you have autoimmune disease? Do you have joints that hurt? Do you have inflammation? Do you have dairy issues and different things like that that are impacting how you feel and you don't even realize it? And it's when we look at the body and mind as a whole, because your body goes nowhere, the mind hasn't gone, right? We
Yeah.
have to first imagine where we want to be and then imagine the steps getting there,
Hmm.
right? It's not enough to manifest the end. You have to see yourself taking the action all along the way and
Yeah.
know that's who you are. Change and accept a new identity of yourself. I'm the
Mhm.
person who shows up. I'm the person who walks every day. I'm the person who chooses a healthy meal. I get enough protein every day. When you get what your body needs, it gets rid of what it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's incredible. That's why the women are getting results. And then they're telling their friends and they're like, you got to get in here. And it's just amazing. I am
Yeah.
so proud of it and excited about what is coming, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, that's all we could
good
ask
stuff.
for as business owners is to be really excited about the work that we do. And honestly, that's why I asked you onto this episode because first off, I love recording these podcast episodes, even if it's just me getting to like share my knowledge. That's my way of creating that maintaining my own progress in my business is showing up and talking about it. It's my way of showing my accountability to myself, but also to the audience and to my clients, right? You see that I put in the work for myself and my business,
Mhm.
and it continues to instill the trust that you have in me for working in your business. And so I just am so proud and so excited every time you reach out to me and you're like, all right, I got this new thing I want to do. Let's do this fantastic resource. Let's share it this way. I've got these new challenges rolling out. And I love to work with business owners that have such a passion and drive for what they're doing because it just helps me with, the buy-in of the work I'm doing on the back end. So it's just been so much fun to see your business just grow and thrive and to help you create along the way. And I know you mentioned briefly the challenges that you're doing,
Mhm.
but where can the listeners go to check out? We're like mid-month of her ab challenge right now, so it's not too late if you want to get in and catch the back
Yeah,
end of that. So
absolutely.
tell us a little bit about
Yes.
the challenges in the program.
Yes, and even better, the 6 minute app, the 30-day app challenge only takes 6 minutes a day. Okay,
Yeah.
so don't tell me you don't have time. And it's not too late to jump in, because as little as 10 days in, you can get a prize. Okay, because there's prizes. There's
Look at
prizes
that.
involved. All right. So jump in right now. And so anyway, you can find me on Instagram at fitover50.flipthischick. Now, you don't have to be over 50 to be there. It's that I'm over 50. That's why it's Fit Over 50. Okay. And then we have the Flip This Chick Facebook community. That's where the good stuff happens. That's where the challenge is live. That's where the women are cheering each other on and showing up and bringing their own recordings in there to say, yes, I did it today, and different things like that. So that is so much fun. And of course, you can go to flipthischick.com and find out more details about our 8-week program and the new 12-month program, because women really were like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's good to get this going, but I want to keep doing it, and so we're like, okay. And this allows us to connect through the seasons, through holidays, through life changes, life challenges, and really tackle them head on as they happen in real time. And
Love it.
it's not just a set 8-week thing. You do this and everybody does the same thing. We're touching base every Monday, because we never miss a Monday, as a community, but then we do that one-on-one session every week that really dials in what matters for each person. And then in the community, there's recipe books, there's workout guides, there's freebie Fridays. There's so much for women, no matter what phase of life they're in. And, we just put out a great lunch blueprint for kids because school just started. So really, it is important to know we involve every phase of life that you're in, because eventually you're all going to end up right here, fit over 50, right?
That's right.
So that's the goal. Let's get you fit and keep you that way, right? No matter
Yes.
where you're at. So, that's what we do, and we will help you tackle it wherever you're at.
Oh, I love it so much. I'll put everything in the show notes so it's easily accessible for you guys. I seeing the back end of all of her business and like creating the kids blueprint and doing all of the emailing. And I'm telling you, the resources that Alicia has are insane. Like out of any business owner I've ever worked with, she has the most resources, which are just invaluable. Like she said, it's at every phase of life, whether you have kids, whether you're struggling with sleep, whether it's the weight, whether it's like snacking. I
Recipes,
mean,
what to cook,
literally
yeah,
everything.
where to
Yeah.
start. Yeah,
And so reach out to Alicia because her resource library is full and she is always adding to it. And it's just such a
absolutely.
pleasure to work with
You
you.
won't
So
be
thank
off.
you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
You are welcome. I do want to say, Sarah, I am so grateful that no matter what platform we've needed to be on, you know it, you learn it, you help me move things when we need to, whether it's a new website or moving from one platform to the other. You knowing those things before I know them has been just priceless for me. And that allows me to do a better job at what I need to do, because you already have that tackled. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do.
You're very welcome. So much appreciated. All right, you guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Catch you on the flip side.
Thank you so much for listening to Branded, the podcast. Please rate and review. And for more information, visit socialjanemedia.com. I'll see you soon.